is, I'm not sure how far you all are into the process of writing your story or getting your chapters going. But when you think about an anthology is a group, it's a group project, it's a team effort, and so because you all are on the same team, because you all are on, you have a common goal with the book, you have a common goal with the theme of the book, or whatever your story is going to be, is that there is no competition with each other. Like, you're on the same team. And when Sheena asked me this last week, I said, well, what is it that you want me to share? Anything specific? And she says, no, just whatever God leads you. And so I felt it was a kind of, I won't say strange word that he gave me, but it was kind of like, you going and sharing a word like that is not necessarily something that you will want to share with people, but I know it's going to be helpful and beneficial because it wasn't a word from me. And so one of the things that he brought to my mind was about the spirit of rejection. And so something he told me a couple years ago, and he shared with me, was called traumatic success. And so Sheena said, like, because I'm the student teacher, I am really a teacher by vocation. Like, I literally teach school, middle school. And so, I want to get some feedback from you ladies. And I make sure I have my timer set because I want to honor the time that Sheena has given me. And one of the things I would suggest to you ladies, when you start sharing, I'm pretty sure most of you already speak, but when you start sharing and people ask you to come on their platform, always honor what they ask you, because then you may not even get the opportunity to come back to, their platform again. So if someone says they want to interview you, bring you on their platform to talk about your chapter, talk about a book, or talk about something you're doing, always honor that, because you never know what they have, what other things they have set up, and you don't want to take up time because you feel like what you have to say is important. And what we have to say is absolutely important, but I believe we can get it out within the time frame because God already knows, okay, this is the amount of time that you have. And so traumatic success. Does anybody want to take a stab at what you think, not a stab, but anybody want to share what you think traumatic success means, or what does traumatic success mean to you? You don't have to be shy.
I want to say being catapulted into another elevation or spotlight in such a rapid pace that you don't feel like you are really prepared. And I say that for me because one of the words that the Lord gave me right before the pandemic was supernatural acceleration. And he has been doing that, and it's almost like being on a roller coaster ride. And he gave me, if you ever read Amos chapter 9, I think it's, I always get it mixed up, but it's chapter 9. I think it's 13 through 15. I got it written down, but and you have to read it in the Message. And one of the things that it says is that things will happen so fast that it'll make your head swim. And it's actually Amos 9:13 through 15. So that's what I think of when you say traumatic success, that it happens so fast that you're not even prepared mentally, physically, all of that. And it's like it's almost like being nervous-sided. I'm excited, nervous, and discombobulated all at the same time.
I like that. And thank you for sharing, Miss Chris. I was like, is that Miss Chris? So I started looking a little closer. Thank you so much. Anybody else want to take a guess at what you think traumatic success means? And I love her definition, so you can make your own definition. Okay, so what God gave me that particular day, and it was dealing with me. And I always, share with people. When I share and I speak to people, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to us, because I'm always a recipient of this word. And so what he shared with me about traumatic success is success on top of pain and trauma. That we haven't dealt with certain issues, we haven't dealt with certain things. So while we're doing all these things, if we don't deal with them, the success that we have, the things that we accomplish, the accolades that we get, the achievements that we get, the mile markers that we make, it becomes traumatic. Because for a lot of times, and I'll go with the rejection, when we don't feel when we feel rejected, when we feel unappreciated, when we feel like there are certain people who are celebrating us and applauding us and congratulating us, especially when you're doing like a book project anything like that, the ones that you think may be the ones to support you and buy your book and congratulate you, sometimes they're not the ones. And people feel like they're not successful because they wanted this particular person to say thank you, or they wanted this particular person to shout them out. They wanted this particular person or these groups of people to celebrate them, and that's not always the case. And so rejection, and I know a lot of you probably know what rejection is. Rejection is a feeling of not being wanted, a feeling of not being loved, a feeling that you're not fit for something. And it kind of ties into what Miss Crest was saying. You know, things happen so fast that you don't even feel like you're prepared for it. But I believe that God has fitted you. He has given you the armor and fitted you for whatever He's called you to do, especially when it's going forward with your book project, what you're writing about, the chapter that you have. And so I encourage you ladies to not get discouraged about what it may what it may seem like, what it may look like. One of the things I want to share with you ladies really quick before I go, because I have 3 more minutes and I'm going to honor my time, is the emotions of writing. Again, I'm not sure how far you ladies are in the process, but you'll get a whole bunch of emotions when you start writing, especially if you guys talk about a painful experience or you want to share about something that you've already come. There'll be so many emotions that come up. And what I encourage you is to take the word of the Lord and combat any negative thoughts. Rejection. When it comes up and you feel like you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, you don't think you should do it, it doesn't sound right, it's not going to work. Reject those things and hold on to what God says. Now, because you all are inside of an anthology with Sheena and with all the other beautiful ladies, you become like a little family. You become like a little community. And what happens is, if people deal with a spirit of rejection instead of really being collaborative, some women can become messy. Some women can become catty, and we don't want that. I don't desire that for you ladies. And again, I'm not saying that you are, because I'm not in this group and I haven't talked to Sheena beyond what she told me. But I want to share what I believe the Lord is sharing. Instead of being competitive, be more collaborative with each other, because this is a group effort. You want to really be connected. And you know, I share this with a lot of people. Pictures are good for the ego. Relationships are beneficial for your soul. So you may see a lot of people posting here and there and taking pictures with people, but it's the relationships that's going to bless you. So while you're coming together, while you're writing, while you're working, while you're having these meetings, make sure you're forming those relationships. Every network, and I know people say your network is your net worth, and I honestly believe that. But I also believe that your network can become your net work. NETWORK, meaning you get tied up and you get in cahoots and you start to be collaborative with the wrong people that God didn't call you to be a part of. And so now you're spending more time trying to get untangled from the wrong people instead of going towards what God has called you. So if you know God has called you to be a part of this book anthology, to be a part of this community that you ladies have right now, be collaborative with each other. Be very, very collaborative with each other. Another thing I want to share with you ladies really quick is making sure that the story that you tell is a story that you can tell today, tomorrow, and the years to come. There is something, again, that the Lord gave me, and it was called writer's remorse. Meaning people will write their story. They'll be all excited about their story when it's time to publish, when it's time to sell it, when it's time to market your book. People become remorseful because they have shared things perhaps for the very first time. They have expose things that they feel like other people may be upset about. And you know, sometimes when things happen to us and we want to share them, some people will be upset because the devil dwells in darkness. It's only when it's exposed to the light that the power is no longer there. And so the enemy doesn't like that. And so he will use people to make you feel like you shouldn't tell this story. I shouldn't say that. So I encourage you ladies that when you get ready to share your story, that you don't have that writer's remorse. You don't feel remorse. You don't feel regretful of what you said and what you wrote, because it is to not only just help you. My friend told me this one time. She said, when you're in it, Seminary is for you. When you come out of it, it's for somebody else. So know that your story is going to be powerful. Know that your story is going to be impactful. And you go and do what it is that God has called you to do. I pray many blessings over you guys' project. I pray that Psalms 90:17 says this: the Lord God Almighty make our effort successful. I pray that He makes your effort successful. He makes this book a success. That everything that your hands touch, it will be blessed, and that you can receive it. That you will not allow shame and trauma and rejection to stand in the way of you not being able to get all the things that God has called you to get. So, Sheena, that is my time. I want to make sure I honor that. Ladies, I thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. Thank you so much, Sheena, for bringing me on. And I pray many, many blessings over you ladies' book project.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, dearly.
Thank you so much. If you guys have any questions for Simone, feel free to ask away. She does have time. She want to honor the time, but when she in this house, she all right. She right good. So we don't want to
have any questions. I just want to say it was wonderful, and I thank you for your deposit into this project. And I wanted to just highlight, so you know, maybe in the future when you talk about this again somewhere else, I think the things that stood out for me the most, and I took notes, you said rejection. I thought that was a good point. Then you said instead of competitive, be collaborative, and you hit the nail on the head. You know, because I think that we're all successful in our own rights in one area or another, but to know that we are working together and not working against each other. I think that was a great point. Then you said when you're in it, it's for you, but when you're coming out of it, it's for someone else. And I thought that was a great point to just highlight. And thank you so much for what you have contributed to us and collaborating with us today.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we thank the Lord.